Okay, hope you're having. Oh, sorry if you hear the motorbike going past. Anyway, hope you're having a great day, morning, evening, or night. As you may notice, we have a few things, new items in the world. So we have this platform here, and we have this floating platform up here. Now we're gonna build this. I'm gonna delete this, and we're gonna recreate it. But I just thought sometimes it's better to just show at the start of the video what we're gonna try, what we're gonna create. So I'm going to step onto the lift. It'll take us up, and we have access now to this extra floor. And we want to go back down. We just step on the platform, and it takes us back down. So it's just a simple lift. Of course, we'll be creating other types of lifts as well. So this one is relies on the box collision. So when the player makes overlaps the bounding box inside the lift, it then triggers the animation, which will get us from point A to point B. So let's get started. Let me show you how I created this. So I'm going to delete this blueprint, or we'll create this again. That's fine. So first of all, I duplicated the floor and then just placed it up here. Now you can choose how high you want this. If you want it shorter, higher, entirely up to you. Um, there's no limits. So the way the lift is built, we'll have it rigged up so you can set the height, the start and end position of that lift really easy, without having to type in any values. Like I said, let's get started. So we're going to go to our blueprints actors folder, and we're going to create a blueprint class actor, and I'll call this BP underscore lift underscore 001, because this will be the first version of our lift. And then we'll have one, like I said, one that has a button like that you can press to go up and go down, and another one that will go to multiple floors. So you could go say floor 1, floor 2, floor 3, um, as well. Anyway, so we'll start with this one, like I said. So in here, what I want to do is actually add a, what's it called, scene. Where's the scene, scene? Let's type in scene, and I'll rename this lift. So the reason I'll use the scene is under here to be the mesh. So if you have a more complicated mesh, then you don't have to worry about in the event graph updating which mesh it is that we're changing and then and moving. So you can just change it here and drop your mesh underneath it. So underneath that, we're going to add a static mesh. Boom. And here you can just call that lift mesh if you want. There you go. And then you can load in whatever, if you have like a fancy platform with railings around it to stop the player from falling off, or it's a fancy lift, entirely up to you. For now, I'm just going to use a cube, which could be replaced later anyway, because we have access to that. And I'm going to just scale this cube down like so we can step on it. There we go. And you can choose how thick you want that platform to be. If you want it thick or you want it thin, entirely up to you. Something like this looks alright. If you want to assign a material, you can feel free to do so. You can just drop a material on, no problem, or create one for it. It's up to you. I'll just leave it as this checkered mesh, this default material for now. This is fine. What we want to do is assign a bounding box as well to our lift. So I'm going to add, under the lift, I'm going to add a box collision. Alright. So that's our box collision, and I'm going to set the scale on that and adjust that, and maybe move this up like so. So we have our platform that we're going to step on and step off. What I want to do is also add to our default scene is arrows. So the reason I'm going to add an arrow, this is what we're going to use to set our start point and end point. So I'll name this start point and add another arrow. Let's type in arrow. There we go. And call this end point. Make sure you don't parent it like this. So you want this under the main root instead. So the separate objects. Now, if you can't see it, you may want to move this out to the side. So you can select them and bring them out like this. There you go. It's there. And maybe we want to scale them up as well to like something like 2.5, slightly bigger. Let's bring it out. Yeah, something like. Actually, we can reset the. Let's reset the location. Just make it slightly bigger, 2.5, so it sticks out. Anyway, so the idea is in the editor, then you can move this second arrow at the end point, or you can move the start point end. And it will animate between these two arrows without having you to type in a value saying 0 to 200, for example. So it makes your life easier. Anyway, just reset those back both to 0. So we have all our assets that we need. And what we do want to do is go into our event graph and delete this. Boom. And we want to grab our this lift mesh, right? Because this is what we're going to set on the main group here. We're going to set the relative location. So set relative location, and of course we're going to split this, and we know it's on the z-axis. That we're moving we're moving up on the z, right? So you can see it's the z. Okay, so I'm going to go to I'm thinking, do I want those in the lift group? No, I don't want those in the lift. That's fine. They don't need to move with the lift. Okay, so we need an animation. So we're going to add a timeline for our transformation, right? So we can say go from point A to point B and set the Z location. So we still need a time animation so it can animate. So let's name that. And you can choose the length of your animation, like the speed of your lift. But remember, you don't want a lift to go too fast. Say if it was like you step on, say you're at the top and it takes like a second or half a second to drop down, the lift may drop faster than your character, so then you'll have this air gap, like a gap. So consider the speed of your lift and the speed of your player dropping. They may not match up. So I'll say something like 4 seconds or 2 seconds minimum. I say 4 seconds. I want it quite slow, but you could say it to 2 seconds. I would say it to about 2, the minimum 2. Depends on what you want to do. Anyway, I'm going to add a track, add a float, and I'll call this lift speed. I'm going to set a first keyframe and set that to 0 and 0. And a second keyframe, and that will be at 4 seconds, and set the value to 1. So we're going 0 to 1 over 4 seconds, right? So now we have an animation and we have a lift speed. So now we need the lerp, of course, like we did on previous videos where we did a door or the moving bookshelf. It's the same, pretty much the same way. We're controlling, we're setting the relative location through the lerp by saying, okay, this is our minimum and maximum value, and this is setting the animation, which is the alpha, and that's passing that data to this. Like so, and then the update of course would go to this, right? So we've done this all before, but what we want to do as well is we want to say, okay, on when we collide with this box, so on component, when we hit on component overlap, begin overlap, we want to say play from start or reverse from end, depending on whether we're at the top or the bottom. So we need to know whether the lift is at the top or the bottom. So let's first right click this and say add event on begin overlap. So we got that. So this is our event, and we need a branch to say true or false, right? branch. So this will go play from start, and this one go from reverse from end. And we need a condition to say, are we at the top or the bottom? So we need to create a variable. And let's write, I don't know, call this lift position. I don't know, position question mark. And let's set this. So we're gonna get set. We need 2 of these. And set. So to set these, one will be true and one will be false because it's boolean. And what we need is from the direction, we need to get this direction. We need to get a switch, which will tell us. So this switch E timeline direction. It will tell us whether we've gone forward or backwards, and this will set the true or false, right? So we know which way we were. We're either at the top where we played the start, or we're at the bottom, right? So let's do backwards. That goes into here, and the finished goes into here. So when it finishes, it will tell us which one it's set. So it will say, okay, I've played from the start, and I've finished, and this is where I am. And if it says, okay, I finished reversing, then I'm at the bottom. So then it knows to play from start again. I hope that makes sense. You'll see in a second anyway. So we're gonna set that. So by we're gonna set the condition. So we set the condition here, and then we get the condition for our true or false. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But that should be all the logic you need. Very straightforward. We may need the event begin play just to reverse this from end. So because sometimes I notice it jumps. So I'm going to just add that in here. Event. And just also I'll link that to reverse from end. So let's say, okay, we're going to start at 0 is A and this is 200, right? And let's just test this out. So we'll just test it before we add the arrows, the functionality of the arrows. So let's get our lift in here. Let's place it here. So if we're going from 0, it should go to 100 when we step on. So you can see the lift reset itself, so made sure it's reversed back. So when I step on, it should go up by, was it 200? There we go. So then we're going up over 4 seconds, and if I jump up, it'll go back down. So that's working. That's working how we intended it to work. So let's go to setting this this up so we don't have to have a value. We don't have to type in the value. We just want to set these positions ourselves in the editor so we can visually see it easier than typing, right? So we're going to get our start point, and we're going to say get relative location. Right click this, split this, and we're going to take the Z and then pass that to A. And we'll do the same for the endpoint. Get relative location, right click, split, and again we want the Z axis of our arrow to go to B, and that's all we need. So if I hit compile and save, if we now go to our editor, now instead of us typing 200, we can move this into position, so where we want it to start and end. So let's get closer to this platform up here, right? And so we want it kind of ending here. Let's move it across so it's not too close to that. And let's say this is a start point. So let's choose our arrow, so endpoint, and move the endpoint up somewhere like this. And if we hit play, you should see it goes down from where it starts, so it's reversed. That's on the event begin play. Anyway, let's walk up to the lift and see if it takes us up to the right level. And there you go. We can step off, walk around, step back on, and it brings us back down. Now, in terms of speed of the animation, you might want to bring this down as well. In terms of the animation, like I said, if I was to change the speed, watch a good example. This is let's say 1 second, right? And let's change that to 1. Compile, save, and let's close this. And let's change that so we're going a bit higher up, so you can see when we drop down. Okay, and let's move this platform up. Let's make sure this platform kind of matches. There we go. Okay, let's hit play. So that distance we're dropping from 1 second is pretty high. And if the lift is dropping that fast, the player's feet will not stay stuck to the platform. So see, it goes up. Going up is not a problem. Going down is the problem. But yeah, it drops a lot quicker than the speed we're falling at. Boom. Oh. So that's the issue you need to consider. You can probably get away with doing like something like maybe 2 seconds. So length of 2 seconds. But you're pushing it really. Compile, save. I don't know if there's a full speed for the actual third person character. I haven't checked. There may be. Maybe you can adjust it in there. But 2 seconds, I think minimum you could probably get away with. Let's see. So step back on. Yeah, see 2 seconds you can get away with. But there you go. So now we've traveled up here. There should have a working lift, hopefully. Even 2 seconds, maybe 2.5, so you don't have that. Or maybe just add a delay. Let's just add a delay so you don't have that little jump. Even if you're going to use 2 seconds, I'd say put a delay so when you step on, give you like half a second, then trigger the animation. So you don't see that little glitch. Let's see, delay. Alright. Let's do half a second, 0.5. Compile, save. Hit play. We're walking up to our lift. Goes up. Okay. Walk onto the lift. Now there's no jump or weird glitch when we walk on because we're delaying that, so it's not instant. You give the player some time to get onto the platform and get off the platform and then get back on before it starts moving. So you could even set that to a second delay, a second if you wanted. But yeah, but it works. So you can see it's all working well and good. There we go. So we have a moving platform based on event overlap. So in the next video we'll have a button that you can call the lift. So if the lift is up here, you can call that, call it back down, or say you want to go up and then you just step on and it goes up. And then the same if the lift, someone else say if the lift goes down on its own or it was called, you can have an up down button to send the lift down. Maybe you want to send the lift down, pushing, let's say, I don't know, maybe I'm making rubbish up, but maybe you wanted to move a block or something. Say we have this block, it's going to take me a while, bear with me, but say you wanted to send that block up from down here. Maybe it was like a little puzzle thing, so it's like, let's move the block up. Oh, I triggered the audio, but say we press the button and then we can send the block up. Whoa, there we go. and then you want to send it back down. Or you want to send the block back down, and you just by pushing a button, you know. We'll do that in the next video anyway. So let's end it here. Thank you again. I hope you have a great day. Enjoy your morning, evening, or night. Thank you again, and bye bye. Let's turn that off. Oh, look how shiny the screen is. Oh, the lift went up. I think I accidentally walked onto the bounding box. Now it's stuck, see? So that's why we need buttons. Anyway, next video. Alright, bye bye.